All right. Making sure you can see me. Adjust the screen if you can't. And just checking that you've got your block, strap, scarf, bolster or 2 pillows put together and blanket. So taking a beautiful, comfortable seat where you feel that your whole chest is expansive, that your spine is in one straight line, whether your legs are crossed or whether you're having your legs straight. So if you can have a bit more height underneath your buttocks, maybe having your hips higher than your knees by sitting onto a prop of some kind. And from here, I invite you to take your one hand on your chest and your other hand on top, soften the elbows down, softly draw the chin in and down to the base of the throat, and the back of the neck is long. And the head feels that it is positioned perfectly on top of the spine, like a delicate china cup on a beautiful saucer. From here, take your awareness into your heart space. In yoga, the heart space is not the geographical space of our physical heart, but it is like a chamber that is limitless in the internal space. Just as with many pictures you might have seen around the different world and the cultures and our beliefs, we have seen the picture of the candle flame over the heart shining forth. And in yoga, the candle flame represents our Atma, our soul that exists to bring us connection to the higher self, the higher purpose, to God. And within this chamber of limitless space, I invite you to direct your breath. At first, you will be physically breathing in and out of the center of your chest, because as a physical being, we are used to breathing tactily, to have a space to breathe in and out of. But as you continue to draw your breath into the center of your chest and out of the center of your chest, and your palms are feeling the awareness of the chest opening as you breathe in, and gently settling back down as you breathe out. Imagine that within this space behind your hands, it is limitless in the potential of space, forward and back, left and right, up and down, within the cavity of Hridayakash, the heart space. And within this space, I invite you to bring a beautiful colour, a colour that for you represents love, that represents freedom. Because as of tomorrow morning, with safety, of course, and awareness, we are about to have new freedom again, a freedom that we always had and we always took it for granted. But it is not until something seems to be taken away from us that we start to really appreciate and ponder the deeper elements of our life. So we will be literally bursting forth like an amazing butterfly. And yes, we have all been out and about, but this is different. We're going with new eyes, with new awareness, with a new sense of purpose. A purpose in that an entire country and planet can be drawn together for one reason. And from this reason, we have also, in our own individual ways, had many different moments within our bubbles, good, not so good, happy, not so happy, but we've all come to different realizations. And my hope for you in this class is I invite you to have a sense of limitless freedom in your body. Regardless of the physical postures that I direct you into, how much freedom can you feel in your body? Have a little play within each pose, within each movement, to create extra space and freedom for yourself. And from this space and possibility of freedom, how much more can we allow the freedom in our breath to carry us? So take another beautiful breath in and out of the Hridayakash, the heart space. And as you open your eyes, taking your arms forward, open them out like amazing, beautiful wings. Shine your heart forward. Gently draw your back of your hands together, gaze up, and then curl into your upper back. Chin to chest, navel to spine, meet your palms together. Breathing in, open your wings out wide, shine your heart. Back of hands draw together. Chin draws up, and on an out breath, curling in. We're going to do this 2 more times as we breathe in and open up. Breathing out, gathering in. 1 more time, breathing in and open up. And breathing out and gathering in. Raise your arms overhead. Take a beautiful full breath in. On an out breath, guide them down the center. Hands back into the heart space, chin to chest, giving thanks to yourself for this practice that you will receive. And then just gently come off your props. So if you're on a bolster or a cushion, just take that off to one side. That's it. And if you're onto a blanket, off to one side. We will be needing our strap handy and our block handy to us. But for now, come onto your back. Your feet are hip width apart. Lying on your back. Taking your arms comfortably down beside your body. From here, we're going to start to do what I call a little bit of a shimmer forward and back along our mat. So the buttocks stay on the ground, feet and palms are on the ground, and I am pressing through my feet to create a forward and back motion with my body. We use this a lot in restorative as well to allow a sense of movement of the fluid in the body. If you're not sure, have a peer at me from your screen and then hop back onto your mat. So I'm not going up and down, I'm going forward and back along my mat. Imagine if you were holding onto a tray covered with rice and you were moving the rice back and forth, shimmering up and down along the tray, kind of like your body. And from this movement, we are feeling that we can redistribute the fluid within our body. We can allow a sense of freedom in the muscles because we're not trying to hold ourselves. And then come to a sense of stillness now. You might feel a bit of tingling within your body. From here, again, going into the shaking movement that I use a lot. So take your legs to the ceiling, take your arms to the ceiling, knees are bent, elbows are loose, and we're going to shake for a minute. Good way to warm up too. So shake, shake, shake. So again, today's class, freedom. How can we deconstruct and reconstruct a pose to allow freedom in our body? So first of all, we're having the freedom of shaking. We're shaking out the need to hold ourselves in a certain way. We're shaking out the excitement of being able to go to a shop tomorrow. Or in my case, my son's orthodontist. Woohoo! We're shaking it out because we can, because we've done it. We have put in the hard yards and we're there. So keep going. Hope you're getting warm because I am. Shake, shake, shake. Go, go, go. Shake, shake, shake. Really shake it out. Really go for it. Keep going. 15 more seconds. Shake, 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 shake. Okay, hug your thighs and knees into your chest. Hope you're feeling nice and warm. And now as you breathe in, legs to ceiling, arms overhead. How fluid can you make this? How soft can you make this? Breathing out, hug your thighs and knees into your chest. So as you breathe in, imagine your breath is carrying your legs, your arms overhead, soft, soft, soft. Breathing out, hugging it in. 3 more times, making it as fluid as you can. We're not looking for shape or structure here. We're looking for fluidity, openness, and freedom. 1 more time, breathing in. And breathing out, hugging both knees in. Keep hugging your right thigh into the chest. Take your left leg along the floor, unless it feels better for your back to have the knee bent. And again, from here, breathe in, knee to ceiling, arms overhead, soft and fluid, knee off lock. Breathing out, hugging in. And again, how soft and fluid can you make this? Float your legs to the ceiling, float your arms overhead, breathing out, coming down. So a little bit of softness and bend in the knees and the elbows, breathing in and up, breathing out. 2 more times. How beautiful can you make this movement feel? This is our chance to be our own inner little dancers in our lounge. No one can see us. And then hugging in. And then from here, take your palms either to face down or up, so your arms are a little bit to the side of your body, and start circling at that hip joint, circling the knee, nice and soft, nice and fluid. Again, a circle is not a square, so how soft and fluid can we make this? Either palms up or down, whatever gives you the most stability. And the next time the knee comes into the center, circle in the opposite way. Either the circles might be small for you today or large, but again, soft, fluid, freedom within the hip. The body likes to have fluidity. We hold and have structure once we have warmed up. One more time. And then hugging the thigh, knee into the chest. Plant your left foot on the floor and cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh. We're going to do this a bit different. So palms back down on the ground. Pick up that left thigh and knee and circle. Circle at the sacrum. So instead of holding the thread, the needle, we're just creating a little bit of release into the sacrum and lower back whilst still opening into that outer hip. And circle in the opposite direction. Things have to be a little bit different now for us in so many ways, so we're going to start to explore that today by doing things a little bit differently in our practice. Okay, and then taking the left foot on the floor, hug the right thigh knee into the chest, take the right leg to the ceiling, arms overhead, and then as you flex your foot, draw your toes towards your head, hold your leg there, but bring your arms down onto the mat. You can keep your left knee bent or straighten your left leg. So bend the right knee into the chest. We're going to do a cycling motion. Straighten your right leg just above the floor. Softness as you breathe in, raise the leg to the ceiling, breathing out, bend the knee, thigh into the chest, extend the leg out along the floor, breathing in and up, and a double long out breath as you bend the knee into the chest, straighten the leg out along the floor. Continue in this cycling motion as fluid and soft as you can. Again, to support your lower back, you can keep that left knee bent and take the foot on the floor. And you can also take your hands underneath your buttocks, palms down, to support your lower back as well. One more time in this direction. As your leg comes up to the ceiling, pause and reverse. So we lower the right leg in a straight line, bend the knee, draw the thigh into the chest, and straighten the leg to the ceiling. Continue like this. So we're cycling in the opposite direction. So we're going to bring the breath in. We're going to breathe in as we draw the thigh knee into the chest, straighten the leg to the ceiling. Long out breath as we lower the leg slowly to the floor. Breathing in and up, cycling. Breathing out, slowly lower. 2 more times. Again, you might be going slower or faster than me. Keep a softness in the leg, no rigidity, nice, soft. The next time your right thigh knee comes into the chest, pause here, breathing naturally, and hug that right thigh knee into your chest. Keep drawing the thigh knee into the chest, soften the shoulders down. Let's do some ankle rotations. We'll do 5 times slowly in each direction. Again, how fluid can we make this ankle joint? What freedom in the ankle joint do we need to produce stability? Opposite way, if you haven't already changed. Stability in the ankle, stability in the knee and hip, freedom of movement. Keep hugging the thigh knee into the chest. Then straighten the right leg along the floor. Just pause for a moment, feeling if there's any difference in both legs. There might not be. There might be a bit of length or space or warmth in your right leg. Hug your left thigh knee into the chest. Again, you can always bend that right knee to support the back if you need to, otherwise right leg straight. And here we go, as you breathe in, leg to the ceiling, arms overhead, float, fluid, open, Breathing out, thigh, knee into the chest. 4 more times, moving with your inhalation. Moving with your exhalation. So again, as you breathe in, feel that you're floating the arms up. Breathing out, hugging them back in. Keep going. I think I've lost count. We'll do one more after this. Let's just do one more, guys. Here we go. And hugging the thigh and the knee into the chest. And then from here, bend your right knee, take the foot on the floor, cross your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Take your palms to face down and draw your right thigh knee into the chest. And then we circle at the buttocks, and the buttocks and the hips are circling, and then your whole lower torso is circling. And just feel into this movement, and then circle in the opposite direction. And then planting that right foot onto the floor, hug the left thigh, knee into the chest. And then taking your palms down and start to circle at that left hip. You can also straighten your right leg if you need to. So we're circling at that left hip, circling the knee, small or large, whatever feels best into that hip joint. And again, we're going for fluidity, openness, and exploring a range of movement here. And the knee comes into a chest, pause, circle, with a curiosity into this hip. How does it feel today? Just imagine if our body could talk back to us. Now that would be interesting. Okay, the next time the thigh knee comes into the chest, hugging it into the chest, and then straighten the left leg to the ceiling. And we're going to do ankle rotations here with the leg to the ceiling. 5 times in each direction. Sometimes it's good to do it in a slightly different order, 5 times in the opposite direction. Because our beautiful brain cells grow when we do something that we're not used to. Then from here, moving into the cycling movements. We're going to bend the knee into the chest first, straighten the left leg out along the floor, and raise the left leg up to the ceiling. Bend the knee into the chest, extend the leg out along the floor. Breathe in now to lift it up. Breathing out, knee into the chest. Keep breathing out as you lengthen the leg out along the floor. Continue 3 more times in this direction. And of course, to support your back, you could always bend that right knee, have the foot on the floor the whole time. And you can always take your hands underneath your buttocks, palms facing down to support your lower back as well. So the next time your left leg comes to the ceiling, pause. We're going to reverse to cycling. So we're going to lower the leg towards the floor, then bend the knee into the chest and straighten the leg up to the ceiling. Lowering the leg towards the floor, bend the knee into the chest, straight into the ceiling. Bringing in the breath now. On the out breath, we lower the leg down. Breathing in, bend the knee into the chest, up to the ceiling. Breathing out to lower. And breathing in, draw it into the chest and straighten up. And continue 2 more times. Remember, softness into the knee, softness into the whole leg. And the next time you bend the knee into the chest, hug the left thigh and knee into your chest. Then draw both thighs and knees into your chest. Hands onto your knees, big toes touch, circle the knees out to the side. The knees come together, draw the thighs and knees into the chest. The jellyfish circles, as we call these. So when we circle the knees out, we go breathe in, circle the knees wide, knees come together, breathe out, hug the thighs and knees in. Keep going 3 more times. Again, think of fluidity, beautiful dance of your body. 1 more time. Hug the thighs and knees into the chest and reverse. So we're going to press the knees away and then circle the knees out to the side and draw them back in. We breathe in when we press the knees away, breathe out to circle them wide. We'll do this 2 more times. keep hugging the thighs and knees into the chest now, breathing naturally, and plant your feet onto the mat about hip width apart. Taking your palms to face down, and then from here, as you press through your feet, peel and lift your hips and pelvis up towards the ceiling, vertebrae by vertebrae, into a bridge pose, and then start to descend and lower, vertebrae by vertebrae, velcroing back your spine into the floor, tailbone sacrum. Hug the thighs and knees into the chest, straighten the legs to the ceiling as you float your arms over the back of the head. Hug your thighs and knees into your chest, plant your feet onto the mat, hip width apart, palms down, and breathe in to lift and peel your spine off the floor into a bridge pose. As you breathe out, lowering, re-velcro your spine back down. On an in-breath, hug your thighs and knees into the chest. On an out-breath, float the legs to the ceiling, arms overhead. Pause here and take another breath in. Breathing out, hug your thighs and knees into the chest. Breathing in, plant your feet onto the mat, palms down. Breathe out, press through your feet, lift your hips and buttocks up to the ceiling. Pause and breathe in. Breathing out, re-velcro your spine all the way back down. Breathing naturally here as you hug your thighs and knees into your chest. And then take your feet back down onto the mat, as wide apart as your mat, really wide, right to the edges. Arms out to the side, palms facing up, to release into your hips, your IT band, windscreen wiper over to the right, both knees over to the right, turn the head to the left palm, breathing in, knees back to the ceiling, head back to the ceiling. Breathing out, knees to the left, head turns to the right palm, breathing in, head in line with the spine, knees to the ceiling. Breathing out, knees to the right, so your feet are as wide apart as your mat. Breathe into the ceiling. Breathing out, head to the right, knees to the left. Breathing into the ceiling. One more time on each side, feeling the play of the opening into that top hip and the gentle spine and upper rib rotation as we twist. Come back to the center, knees over to the right again, pause here, breathing naturally. So I want you to start to feel that you can lift from that left hip, lift the left buttock a little bit and lengthen down through that top of that thigh and outer IT band, out through the knee. And then taking your left arm over your head and lengthen back through your fingers, lift the left buttock up a little bit, lengthen through that knee. Come back, arms out to the side, onto your back, over to the left side with both knees turned to the right. Start to gently press into the inner edge, your big toe edge of that right foot to lift the right buttock a little bit off the mat and lengthen from that top hip down the top of your thigh, out through the knee along the IT band, and take your right arm a little bit over your head, a bit like a rainbow. Lengthen back through your fingers, lengthen out through that knee for that luscious stretch along that right side. Bring the arms back at right side, come back onto your back, walk your feet in, hug your thighs and knees into the chest. Now we're going to come up and down a few times, rocking and rolling, or you can just roll from side to side. So chin to chest, rolling up, chin to chest, spine curve, rolling back. Keep going. So you can go from side to side, or you can rock and roll up and down. We're going to do 2 more times. We'll be going side to side or up and down, chin to chest, curling back, and then coming all the way up. All right, we are warm. I am warm, so I hope you're warm. So from here, finding our blocks, placing it between our inner thighs. Palms onto the ground, fingers spread wide apart. Keeping the blocks between the thighs, shift the buttocks back towards the heels, and then start to circle. A little bit of fluidity, but still having that intimate play between the stability of your inner thighs because you're squeezing the block and the fluidity of your hips and spine as you just move in a circular way, go in the opposite direction. Maybe the rib cage comes a little bit out to the side like a bit of a barrel shape to create some space here. Come back to the center and then flowing into what we call that classical Marjorie Asana, the cat pose. So breathing in, draw the chest forward and slide the shoulder blades down the back, eye gaze up. Breathing out, chin to chest, curling through that upper spine, tailbone under, navel to spine. Breathing in, shine your sternum forward, look up. Breathing out, curling under. Keep going 3 more times. And then coming back to the hands and the knees, releasing that block, but still feeling you have the awareness of the strength and stability here. Moving into thread the needle, so all about the fluidity and the flow. Breathing in, raise your right arm up, keep the elbow quite bent. Breathing out, threading it under, right ear and shoulder towards the floor. Breathing in, coming up. Breathing out, threading under. One more time, breathing in, coming up. And breathing out, threading under. Breathing in, coming up, raise the right arm up. Breathing out, float the palm or forwards. Left side, breathing in, raising your left arm up. Make it beautiful. Breathing out, thread it under. 4 more times, breathing in and up. And breathing out, threading under. 2 more times, moving with our breath. Again, we're moving to what our body is saying that it's happy to do. And we're making it as flowing as it suits for us. 1 more time, as we breathe in, we come up. And we breathe out, palm onto the floor. Knees softly apart, touch your big toes. Sit buttocks towards heels, stretch arms in front of you. Forehead towards the floor into pose of child. From here, the adaptations could be placing a block under your forehead. You could be sitting with a blanket between the knees, or if it doesn't suit for the buttocks to go back to the heels, and just stay up more high. And that's adapting into our shape. From here, let's take a side stretch, walk around to the left as far as you can. Arms stay wide apart. Soften forehead to the ground. And as you spread your fingers wide apart, see if you can roll the armpits in towards each other. Really press down and open that little finger out wide on your right hand. How much space can we breathe into the right ribs? Into that lower back. Come back to the center. Walk as far around to your right, keeping the hands a good shoulder width apart. Spread your fingers wide apart, forehead to the floor. Pressing your fingertips down and roll your armpits in towards each other. Open your little finger out comfortably wide onto your left hand. Press down. Breathe space into your left side of your torso. Come back up to the hands and to the knees. And from here, straighten your right leg behind you. So you're curling your toes under. And having a little bit of play. So we're just kind of pressing back into that heel, rebounding forward. Pressing back into the heel, rebounding forward. Just a couple of times, having some gentle movement forward and back. And then come back to the shoulders on top of your wrists and lift that right leg up to hip height. Bend the knee, toe to the ceiling, and as you breathe in, draw the chest forward. Breathing out, curling under, forehead towards the knee. Breathing in, knee buttock height, toe to ceiling, draw the chest forward. Breathing out, curling under. 3 more times again. Think of fluidity and softness rather than feeling like you have to draw the knee as close to your forehead as possible. We're just working with your breath. Create space as you breathe in. Breathing out, squeeze it all out. Knee onto the mat, straighten your left leg behind you, curl the toes under. Press back into that heel to create the calf opening and then rebound forward. And do this a few times. And then come back, put some shoulders on the wrists. Lift that left leg using that heel to buttock height. Bend the knee, toes to ceiling. Breathe in, draw the chest forward, look up. Breathing out, curling under, forehead towards the knee. Breathing in and up. Make sure the knee doesn't go higher than the buttocks. Keep your sacrum level. Breathe out, curling under. 3 more times. So your breath is the driver of your body. The breath is guiding, driving, and directing you. Breathing out as you go under and planting that knee down. Curl your toes under. Sit your buttocks back onto your heels. Interlace your fingers and some wrist rotations to offload. So I'm sitting my buttocks back onto my heels, opening into my toes, and then wrist rotations in the opposite direction. And then bring your palms together. I'm going to turn the back of the hands together as we take the fingers in and take the arms away. Draw the fingers in, bring your palms together. Back of hands, fingers in, arms away, fingers in, palms together. And then just release and give them a shake about. Come back to the hands and the knees, tapping your feet if you've been sitting on them, the heels for the whole time. Curl your toes under, bring your hands a little bit forward and create the space you need. If you need more space in your shoulders, take your hands a bit wider apart. Forefinger facing forward. Press through the palms, lift up, extend up to a down dog. Keep your knees bent into your chest. Rise your sit bones up to the ceiling. Front of ribs hug in and start to pedal your foot. So you're alternating slowly, drawing one knee in as your opposite heel comes to the floor. And as you take one heel to the mat and the opposite knee comes in, just pause. And I like to do a little bit of a wiggle. Wiggle with my hips from side to side and just gets a nice little opening into that outer hip of the straight leg. And then bring your opposite knee in, opposite heel to the floor, pause, and again sway. Probably sway is a better word than wiggle. We need to wiggle, sway from side to side. Okay, bend both knees into the chest and walk up to the top of your mat so your feet are sit bone distance apart. Bending your knees, sit back onto a chair, raise your arms forward and up, press through your feet, come all the way up, and we are upright. Ta-da! Bring the palms into the heart space and pause here. So from here, feel into your feet, feel into that awareness that we are firmly grounded into the earth, into the reality of where we are, and the strength and stability of the legs and the hips to guide and carry us forward, but the awareness of the torso, the lightness and the fluidity all the way up into the shoulders, the expansiveness of your collarbones as you draw your shoulder blades together and down, the awareness and softness of your face and your jaw. And from here, with the breath relaxed, take your arms forward and up and lengthen through the fingers. Bend your knees and fold forward from your hips. Take your hands onto your shins and then lift up parallel to the floor to a half lift. Draw the chin in, down to the base of your throat. Bending your knees, fingertip the floor, and step your right leg far back. Take the knee on the mat. Make sure your front knee is on top of your ankle. And relaxing that back foot down as we shift the hips and buttocks back, and then come forward with the knee on top of your ankle. Shift the hips and buttocks back, come forward with the knee on top of your ankle. And do that a couple more times. Again, just creating the fluidity before we hold to allow the opening in the space in the body. One more time, shift your hips and buttocks back, and then bending the knee on top of your ankle. From here, hugging your inner thighs in, back foot presses down, ground down through that front foot evenly, and rise your arms up, lengthening through your fingers. Take a breath in, and as we breathe out, hinge forward from the hips, bringing the chest over the thighs, taking your arms back. Breathing in, bring your arms forward, press through that front foot to lift you up. Breathing out, hinging forward, thigh on chest on top of thigh, take your arms back. Breathing in, bring your arms forward, then press through your feet, coming up. Breathing out and down, arms go back. Breathing in, arms by the ears, lifting up, hold it here, relaxing the breath. From here, Take your hands either side, walk your left foot out to the side of your mat, turn your toes out so your knee still comes over your second or third toe. Hands to the inside, shift your buttocks back and just circle. A bit more space and fluidity into your hips. You could be on your fingertips, you could be onto your knuckles if it's not comfortable to have your hands onto the ground. And then circle in the opposite direction. You could also be using a block here, having your hands onto a block. And then from here, start to comfortably sink your back hip and thigh down. Keep lengthening your tailbone into the back heel, so not dumping into that lower back. Press your back foot down and drawing your sternum forward, draw your chin in and down, soften your shoulders down, and just find that sweet spot where you're feeling a nice opening and lengthening and spaciousness in that back hip and thigh. If you want to come down lower and you're not compromising the ability of your body or pushing through the mind to say, I have to come down because Nikki is, so don't. Go to where you want to be. A few more breaths here, wherever you are. And then slowly coming up, walk your left foot in, knee on top of your ankle, curl the back toes under, lift that back knee up. And again, just kind of press back into that heel and rebound a little bit forward. Press back into that heel, rebound a little bit forward. And then we're going to step the front foot back into a plank, but I want people who are not comfortable to do this to come down to hands and knees and maybe go back into down dog. So options, front foot back, come forward into a high plank, shoulders on top of your wrists, hold it there while I talk people through. The other option would be back knee down, hands and knees, up to down dog. Otherwise, we're in the plank. People who are in the down dog come to hands and knees. People who are in the plank come down to your knees, lower yourself down to the ground. Okay, from here, take your forehead onto the mat. Have your feet comfortably apart, spaciousness for your lower back. Hands comfortably to the side of your chest, fingers spread wide, and your elbows drawing down to your rib cage. I want you to start to draw your shoulder blades together and down. Now, as you breathe in, without barely touching the mat, draw your chest, your sternum forward. Keep looking down at the mat, breathing out and lower. Keep going with this, breathing in and up, and breathing out to lower. Breathing in and breathing out. One more time. Curl your toes under. As you breathe in, lift up to hands and knees. Breathe out, extend back into down dog. Come to the hands and the knees and step your right foot forward. Make sure your knees on top of your ankle. Relax the back foot down. Shift your hips and buttocks back, and the front leg is almost straight with a bit of a bend in it, and the knee comes back on top of the ankle as you sink that back hip and thigh down. Continue to move backwards and forwards, nice and slowly, that matches your breath. One more time, coming back, coming forward, making the knee plant on top of your ankle, sink that back hip and thigh comfortably down. Drawing your inner thighs in towards each other, raising your arms up by the ears, lengthening through your fingers and softening your shoulder blades down the back. And then from here, what we're going to do is hinge forward from the hips in a straight line, chest on top of thigh, arms fly back. Breathing in, arms come forward. When the arms are by the ears, press for your feet to lift up. Breathing out, arms come back down. Breathing in, arms sweep forward, circle through by the ears, lift up. Breathe out as you hinge forward in a straight line, sweep the arms back. Breathing in, coming up. Soften the breath as you bring the hands to the inside of your right foot. Take your right foot out to the side, turn your toes out to the side, make sure your knee is still trailing over your shin and over your second and third toe. You could be on your fingertips, you could make a fist, make sure the wrists are in line with your shoulders, and if you're not having to come out of the pose, you could also put your hands onto a block to be up high. What I want you to do is to lengthen your tailbone to your back heels. If you start to dump into it and curve into that lower back, You're putting too much pressure into your sacrum and your lower SI joint. So I'd rather you come up a bit higher, and you can still get an amazing stretch here. And like I say, use a block if you need to. I don't know why people think using a block is the easy way. Sometimes it's the opposite. So press the back foot down, stay high, or if you can comfortably come down without losing the connection or the integrity of the pose, your breath, then come down. Otherwise, stay up for a few more breaths. Soften the shoulders down. Tailbone lengthens back, front of sternum draws forward. And then coming all the way back up. Walk that right foot in, hands either side, knee on top of your ankle. Heel the back toes under, lift the back knee up, lift your hips and buttocks up a bit higher, and start to press back into that heel, and then rebound forward a little bit. Just a nice gentle movement forward and back. Make sure it is in the range of motion and movement that is applicable for your knee. Choose to stay here or soften that back knee down, hands and knees up to down dog. Otherwise, front foot comes back, roll forward into a high plank, shoulders on top of wrists. So we're either in the plank or down dog now. We all come down to hands and knees. Blop, 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 and then lower ourselves down. So taking your forehead onto the mat, and then take your elbows out to the side. Stack your hands on top and take your forehead on top of your hands. So alternate legs here. Head stays low to begin with. Breathing in, lengthen back through your left leg and then lift your left leg off the mat. Breathing out to lower. Just a small movement. Breathing in, lengthen back through your right toes and then lift your right leg. No higher than your buttock, just a little bit. Breathing out to lower. Breathing in, lengthen back through your left toes to lift. Breathing out to lower. Breathing in, lengthen back through your right toes, lift your right leg. Breathing out to lower. One more time on each side. And then rolling the legs in and out, rolling the legs in and out, roll and roll, and then keeping them nice and still. So keeping the legs on the ground, press your pubic bone into the ground, draw your navel in towards the back of your spine. From here, as you breathe in, raising head, chest and arms just a little bit off the floor, breathing out to lower. Breathing in, raising head, chest and arms off the floor just a little bit. Breathing out to lower. Breathing in and up. Breathing out to lower. Relaxing your forehead down and just kind of gently moving your head a little bit from side to side. Okay, take your forehead onto the mat, bring your arms down beside your body. Couple of options here before we begin, so just listen for a moment. You can either keep your head on the ground and just lift one leg at a time, alternating into the locust, but with your head down. If you feel happy, when we begin, we will be raising head, chest, arms, and both legs off the ground. The arms are beside the body, but when we come up, your palms will be turned in towards your thighs, and you'll lengthen back for your fingers and toes. Just do what feels right. Here we go. Breathing in, raising head, chest, arms and legs. Lengthen back for your fingers, back for your toes, or you're just alternating one leg. Breathing out to come down. Breathing in to come up. Feel like you're flying. Breathing out to come down. One more time. Breathing in to come up. Breathing out to come down. Breathing in to come up. Breathing out to come down. Stretch your arms out in front of you, flying Wonder Woman, forehead onto the ground and just rock your hips from side to side. Okay, hands either side of your chest, curling your toes under, lift up to the hands and the knees, lift up, extend back into down dog, walk your feet up to the top of your mat, bending your knees, sit back onto your imaginary stool, arms up, press one way up to a standing. Bring your hands into the centre of your chest, and then hands onto your hips, stepping your left leg back out to the side, bending your right knee as you do so. And then angle your back toes in. So you're on the heel of your back foot, toes are turned in, and your left foot's a little bit like a railway track, a little bit out to the side. And your right knee is bent on top of your ankle. I've got the heat pump on in my lounge. It's like, whew, hot yoga here. Okay, bending your knee on top of your ankle, rib cage facing over your front foot, raising your arms up by your ears. Tailbone lengthens to back heel, shoulder blades soften down the back. Front of ribs hug in, pubic bone draws to navel, navel to spine. We're shining a smile on our face into warrior one. Okay, here we go. Front knee stays on top of your ankle. We're going to hinge forward from the hips, keeping the spine long as we fly the arms behind us. I'm going to breathe in to come up, arms soft. Breathing out, flying back. Breathing in to come up. Breathing out to fly back. One more time, breathing in to come up. Breathing out, take your arms out to the side like a goalpost. Take your right elbow underneath your left and either bring the back of your hands or your palms together. Raise your elbows up and find your focus point, because we're going to circle the arms and the shoulders. That's why we step the left foot out a little bit wider out to the left, so we have more stability. Keep it front knee on top of your ankle, circle the other way. So even within a pose of strength and stability through the legs, we want freedom and openness into the upper torso and lightness. Okay, take your arms out wide, 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 wide. Raise your arms overhead. Now imagine you're holding on to two ropes attached to the ceiling. So hold on to the ropes, lift your back foot up, turn your toes in, step your back foot forward. Okay, so your front foot is your left foot, knee is bent, step your right leg back out to the side like a railway track, plant that heel down, back toes are angled in. So your right leg's a bit off to the side for balance. Front knee's on top of your ankle, rib cage is facing over your front foot. Raise your arms up, soften and sink shoulder blades down. Breathe in. As we breathe out, hinge forward from the hips, fly your arms back. Breathing in to come up. Breathe out, hinge forward from the hips, spine long, fly your arms back. Breathing in to come up. Keep going. Breathe out to go down. One more time with your own breath. When we come up now, your breath is relaxed. Make a goalpost with your hands, and we're going to take opposite way. I think it's your right elbow on top of your left. Back of hands, palms meet. Raise your elbows up. And find your focus point, stability in your feet. Circle. Circle the rib cage as well. So this is actually a balance pose as well as a strength. And we're releasing into the upper body. Circle in the opposite direction. So getting out of the need to only do one pose, we can combine many into one. Okay, raising your elbows up, release, open your arms out wide. And then from here, arms up, imagine you're holding on to ropes from the ceiling. Lift your back foot up, turn the toes in, bend the back knee, step the back foot forward, bring the hands into the chest. Raise your arms forward and up, lengthen through your fingers. Bend the knees, hinge forward from the hips, forward fold. Bend the knees, step your left leg back, ankle and the back toes in, bend your front knee on top of your ankle, so you're heel to heel, back toes angled in. Right hand on right thigh. Left arm super glues by the ear forward, cartwheel the arm up to bring yourself all the way up into a standing pose. Front arm out, shoulder height into warrior two. Straighten the front leg, relaxing your arms down. Just check heel to heel roughly, comfortably, stable. Back toes in, good to go. Take a breath in, arms out. Breathing out, sinking down, knee on top of the ankle. Breathe in, straighten the front leg, arms overhead, make the palms are comfortable. Breathing out, extending to warrior two. Breathing in and up, flying up. Breathing out, settle back down. One more time, breathing in, fly up. Breathing out, settle back down. From here, raise your arms up. And then bring your hands out and down and interlace your fingers behind your back, elbows bent, forefingers down to the floor. So your front knee still stays on top of your ankle, but now the hips are more 45 degrees really, yeah? Interlacing fingers, elbows quite bent, and draw your shoulder blades together. Open into that chest and shine into that heart space. Breathing deeply. A few more breaths here. And then straighten that front leg, turn the toes to face in, so you're in a wide angle pose. Fingers are still interlaced, palms towards each other, forefingers towards the heels, elbows off lock. Stay here if folding forward isn't your thing today. Otherwise, hinge forward from the hips, taking your crown towards the floor. Maybe your hands stay on your buttocks. If your shoulders feel happy, lift your arms over the back of your head. Or maybe they just lift off a centimetre off your buttocks. It doesn't matter, just make sure it feels all right for you and you're getting an opening into your shoulders and chest. Relax your hands down, hands onto your hips, press for your feet, breathe in, come all the way up. And we'll do that on the other side. So turn your left foot out 90 degrees, angle your back toes in, whoop, bending your knee on top of your ankle. Float your arms out, and then straighten the front leg and relax your arms down. Bend your knee on top of your ankle, arms out to the side, look over that front hand, and then float them down. Breathe in, take your arms up. Breathe out, bending the knee into warrior two. Now breathe in, straighten the front leg, bring your arms overhead, meet the palms, so comfortable for your shoulders. Breathe out, extend back into warrior two. Breathing in, rise up. Breathing out, coming down. Breathing in, rising up. Breathing out, coming down. Let's do one more. Breathing in, coming up. Breathing out, coming down. From here, raise your arms overhead and then take them down. Interlace your fingers, palms together, forefingers towards the floor. Draw your shoulder blades together and down. Holding it here, breathing deeply. And then straighten that front leg again, turn the toes in into a wide angled forward fold. Again, the option, if it's not comfortable, to interlace your fingers, and when we come forward, bring your arms over the back of the head. You could just keep your hands onto your hips. Okay, see what suits. Otherwise, lengthening down through tailbone, crown of head lengthens up, hinge forward from the hips, folding forward, forehead towards the floor. The hands can stay on the buttocks, or you can lift them, raising the arms over the back of the head. Breathing deeply, evenly, smoothly. Quite nice to open the mouth and sigh the breath out. Release the hands onto the buttocks, releasing the clasp. Hands onto your hips, breathe in, press for your feet, come all the way up slowly. Relax the breath and walk your feet in. Like so. Okay, having your feet together, we're going to go into the eagle pose again because it represents one pointed focus, and when we come out of it and we're releasing from the bind, it's like freedom. Okay, weight into the left foot, left knee bent, bend the knees, cross your right knee over your left, anchor your toes in, toes on the floor, so your hips are facing forward and you're sitting down into a chair as opposed to leaning onto a table. Sit down into a chair. From here, arms out to the side, right elbow underneath left, either back of hands or palms together. Raise your elbows as high as you can, comfortably. Slide the shoulder blades down the back, feeling the shoulders soften away from the ears, and sink down deeper. Squeeze your inner thighs in. Squeeze the knees together. Draw up through your pelvic floor, root block. Breathe. Find your focus point. If you wish to test your balance and the stability is all right into that standing foot and hip, maybe float the toes of your right foot off the floor. If this places pressure into your knees, hips or back, don't. Take your foot back down. We're not going to do the full bind. We're just going to stay here. The full bind, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, would be to wrap your right foot around your left calf muscle. But sometimes this can place a lot of pressure into the knee. I mean, go for it if you really want to, but just again, listen to your body. Squeeze everything into the midline. Find that focus point. Feel that internal heat. Building up, building up. You've got this. And then arms come out first. Whoosh, whoosh, uncross. And then shake the legs about. Just kind of feel that awareness of space. In fact, even open your palms forward. Yeah. Draw your shoulder blades together. Squeeze them, lengthen down. Feel that openness into the chest and then release. Okay, so right foot, a little bit of micro bend into the knee. And then bend the knee. Cross your left knee over your right. So your toes turn in and touch the floor. And then sit straight down. Arms out to the side. And then we're going to take the, which one did we take last time? I think it's the left. No, the left goes under. Your opposite way, my darlings. Okay, palms together or back of hands. Raise your elbows as high up as you can. Sit down lower if suitable. Shoulder blades slide down. Holding it here. Again, if you wish to test the balance and it feels all right for us, maybe hover your left toes off the floor. Otherwise, keep them onto the mat. Tailbone lengthens down, crown of head lengthens up. Draw up through your pelvic floor, navel to spine. Squeeze everything in. Feel that heat. Building up, building up. Focus your awareness, 1 point. A few more breaths. Arms open out first. Legs open out. And then turn your palms forward. Draw your shoulder blades together and down. Kind of feel like you're flying a little bit. Drawing them back. And then just give everything a little bit of a shake about. Come to the top of your mats. Coming down now to the floor. Raise your arms up, lengthen through your fingers, hinge forward from the hips, folding forward. Step your right leg back, step your left leg back, extend back into down dog for 1 breath. Come down to the hands and the knees. Toes together, knees slightly apart, extend back and rest into pose of child. The arms can be forward or you can have your legs back behind you. Just a few breaths here, feeling into the expansiveness into your lower back. And then slowly coming up and finding your blanket to sit on. Sit to the top of your blanket to allow a lift out of your lower back. And bring the soles of your feet together. Heels slightly forward of your knees or in such a space that your knees feel comfortable. Again, we want to have a little bit of an anterior tilt in the pelvis. So we want to roll the pubic bone towards the floor and drawing up onto the ankles. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, hinge forward from the hips, spine line, chin towards the chest, elbows into the knees, lengthening out through the crown of your head. Breathing in, chin to chest, curling all the way up, head coming up last, and then breathing out, hinge forward, lengthen out along the feet. Chin to chest, curling up as you breathe in, and then breathing out, hinge forward. Chin to chest, curling up as you come up. And this time as we breathe out, hinge forward, folding one away forward, soften the breath. You can stay holding onto your ankles, or you can take your arms forward. Just Come to a level that suits your body. Direct and guide your awareness into your tailbone. Feel that you are directing your breath here, in and out here. Slowly walk your hands back, hands onto the knees, draw the knees together. Straighten your left leg. Pick up your right foot with your left hand, right hand under the knee, and just rock that foot back and forth. Keep lengthening through the spine, softening the shoulders down. Left heel pressing down and your toes drawing up of your left foot. And just also start to have a little bit of activity through that left thigh, drawing the thigh muscle down into the thigh bone. Okay, we're going to take the right foot across. We're going to rest it back of the knee on top of your left thigh. Now, if the knee is quite high because of tightness into the hip, I'm just going to come out and show you. We could be using a bolster if the knee's up high to rest it on, or we could be using, I have so many blankets here, another blanket or a block to also support that knee. Okay, and make sure your sit bones are even, so kind of rock from side to side, get the little fleshy parts out so the sit bones are down. Here we go. Press your sit bones down, lengthen through your spine. Hinge forward from the hips, walking your hands forward. So where we most likely will be feeling it is through the back of our left leg, right up into the back of the thigh. So rather than drawing your chin forward, which is compressing into the back of the neck, draw the chin in and down. Rather than curling into your upper back and collapsing into your chest, think lengthened spine, open chest, long neck, and breathe, 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 breathe. What freedom can you create into the back of your left leg with your breath? No force. Muscles don't like to be forced. Nobody does. Ease into it. Use your breath. Use the integrity of taking yourself towards that edge, but not trying to push through it. A few more breaths here. And then slowly coming up. Okay, picking up that right foot, taking the foot onto the floor, and with your left arm, hug your right knee, right hand on the floor behind you, moving into the twist. So take a breath in to create length through the spine. Use your out breath as your eye gaze turns to look behind you. Head follows, looking over your back shoulder and down to the floor. Keep hugging that thigh in towards your abdomen and chest. As you close your eyes if comfortable, sit bones press down, spine grows long. Collarbones broaden by drawing your shoulder blades together and down. And your straight leg, the heel, lightly presses down. And then direct your awareness to the space between your eyebrows, Brahmadya, the eyebrow center. As you breathe in, feel that you're drawing your breath into the eyebrow center, into the very center of your head. And as you breathe out, feel your breath is leaving from this place out through the eyebrow center. Continue to guide and witness and feel your breath in and out of your eyebrow center. Gently letting go of the awareness of the eyebrow center. Feel the breath in your nostrils. The head is turning to the front first, and then unwinding, straightening your right leg out. Picking up your left foot with your right hand. Left hand guides the left knee, and we rock back and forth. That's it. Drawing your toes up of your right foot and pressing your right heel comfortably down. From here, we're going to guide that left foot across the body, and we want the back of the knee and the back of your your left thigh on top of your right thigh. So the sole of your left foot is facing up. Again, to support, we can take bolsters, blankets, or even a block to support here. Moving the flesh away from the buttocks to allow the sit bones to be into the floor. And feel your even, hands down, lengthen spine, hinge forward from the hips. Chin draws in and down, walk your hands forward, and don't be surprised if one side is different than the other. It might not be, but we will be feeling it most likely into the back of this leg, I hope. But again, the depth of your pose will be dependent upon your breath. And as we work with our breath, especially the releasing breath of the out breath, sometimes we can deepen into it, but not always. And as we come towards the edge of our pose, where we can sustain with our breath, internalize the awareness into feeling the sensations within your body, and internalize the awareness of being in a pose by what you are thinking. And you don't have to be thinking anything. A few more breaths here. And then slowly coming on the way up, picking up that left foot, placing it onto the mat, and hug with your right arm around that left knee, left hand onto the floor. So have length by pressing the sit bones down through the spine. Take a beautiful breath in. On your out breath, eyes turn, head follows. Breath softens naturally. Closing your eyes, head is on top of the spine. Your internal gaze looking behind your shoulder. Shoulder blades draw together and down. Navel slightly draws up and in, supporting your lower back. Now direct your breath in and out of the eyebrow center. And then directing further as you breathe in, draw the breath through the eyebrow center into the very center of your head. Imagine this. Breathing out from this place out of the eyebrow center. Keep practicing the awareness of this breath. And then go with the awareness of the breath at the eyebrow center. Feel the breath in the nostrils and turning your head to face the front and then unwinding. From here, straightening the legs and then finding what we need to come into Shavasana, into relaxation. So we're going to be lying on our backs with maybe a cushion or a bolster underneath our knees. Maybe a light blanket behind the head if we need so, and covering ourselves up with a blanket. Coming into the pose of relaxation, Shavasana. Allow your legs to be slightly out to the sides of your body, with your feet comfortably falling out. And allow your arms to be slightly to the sides of your body with your forearms and palms facing up. From here, allow the eyes to comfortably close. And make any final adjustments so you'll be very comfortable. And settling now into stillness within your body. So from the theme of the class of freedom within your body and fluidity to be able to go with the flow, we come into the stillness of the cocoon that is our body. And from this inner and outer shell, we can choose what our new realities, what our colourful butterfly lives will be like. In that we will go out with new and greater awareness. Nothing else can really be any different for us. But for now, dive deep into your inner shell of your body, your physical body, and feel every part of your body touching into the mat, into the props, feeling the space between your body and the floor beneath. And from this space, directing your breath in and out. Feel that you can breathe into every space between your body and the floor beneath. And with every exhalation, feeling a sense of heaviness into the floor. Every part of the body that's in contact with the floor, heaviness into the floor. Let the floor hold you and support you. And give yourself permission to freely let go. And direct and guide your breath and your awareness to your body above the floor. Feel into every space that your body occupies above the floor. Breathe into the spaces of your body above the floor. And from here, elicit the feeling of lightness, floating, and freedom of your body above the floor. With every out-breath, how light and how free can we feel within our body? You bring your awareness back into your physical body, breathing into the entirety of the space your physical body occupies. And visualize that you are standing at your feet, gazing at yourself, at your own physical body lying there. And within this awareness of looking at yourself, how much more space can you give yourself permission to create in your mind, in your breath, in your body? What space do you still need to occupy, even beyond the mat, for yourself to create the freedom you need in your mind, your breath, and your body? And then letting this awareness go, direct your awareness to sound. Listen to all sounds outside of your room, outside of your house, and create a lightness and playfulness as you listen from sound to sound. Bring the awareness of listening outside to the awareness inside your own room and the space you occupy upon the mat. Listen to the sounds around your body. To the breath in and out of your body. As you breathe in, create the sensation of your whole body expanding outwards in all directions. As you breathe out, create the sensation of your whole body releasing inwards. Expansion on your inhalation, releasing on your exhalation. Keep feeling into this. And then letting this breath awareness go, and settle your awareness into the space behind your closed eyes. into the Chittakash, the space of your mind. Imagine you're sitting right in the very center of your head, and behind you, in front of you, above you, below you, to your left and your right is limitless space. The limitless space that is our mind. Gaze into the space, 360 degrees. Allow all thoughts, all feelings, colours, pictures, patterns, allow them to come and go. Become the witness of your mind. We are not the actors. We are the witness, watching, observing. Keep looking. And then slowly withdraw the awareness now from the mind space. Withdraw the awareness and come to place your awareness back into your breath in both sides of your nostrils now. Feeling your breath here. Direct awareness to feel your physical shape and form, your physical body upon the mat. And visualize behind your closed eyes that you are moving the rest of your day with ease, with grace, with a sense of newfound freedom, awareness. Stretch your arms over the back of your head from fingertips to toes. Make your body as long as you can. Roll over to one side as you press through your palms and bring yourself to a comfortable seated position to close the class. Having the eyes closed as you come to your seated upright position and your palms into your heart space. Lightly bow the chin to the chest. Thank yourself for the ability to move with grace, ease, freedom, fluidity today. And take this awareness of what this represents to you for the rest of your day, for tomorrow, the next day. How can we recreate every day from now on the freedom that we need? And before we close, there's just a little quote I'd like to read you. A great beginning is sometimes at the point of what you thought would be the end of everything. So there is a new beginning for everybody. It's what we make of it. Namaste and blessed be. And I'll just whiz over to unmute you all.